The Straw Hats will be getting some of their final power-ups in the Elbaf arc, so this is part 2 of the Straw Hats power-ups. But as always, if you're not caught up to the One Piece manga, I suggest to keep scrolling. One Straw Hat that's interesting to talk about when it comes to power-ups is Jime, because essentially, he's already a vet. At this point, he's been a captain of his own crew and on multiple pirate crews and even aligned with the previous Yonko. He is the strongest fisherman karate user and is not far-fetched to think he's the strongest fisherman in the verse. So what's next for Jime? One thing is, he can get another Haki Bloom. Seeing as we don't know what level Jinbei's Haki was when he was fighting Who's Who, we don't actually know if he got a Haki Bloom during this fight. But one thing that was interesting to note was that Who's Who was at one point damaging Jinbei with his armament Haki. But later in the fight, Jinbei's Haki went to a level that Who's Who couldn't even touch him, having that invisible armor. And then he used the Demon Brick Fist to finish off Who's Who, and I think this is the first time we saw Fisherman Karate and Haki combined. But I think there lies Jinbei's power-up. His fight was Who's Who. Like I said earlier, Jinbei is a master of Fisherman Karate, or a master of martial arts. And I think his next power-up may be incorporating Fisherman Karate, Haki, but also the Rokushiki techniques. You see, in Jinbei's fight with Who's Who, he did talk about the 6 powers that Who's Who was using. But later on he said, I've never seen those 6 powers before. Now imagine, Jinbei's already sturdy body being able to use Iron Body, then becomes more durable. He'd then be able to use Skywalk, being able to fight in the sky. Finger Pistol coupled with Fisherman Karate, he'd also be able to use Renkyaku and Rokugan, making his whole body a lethal weapon. And this will essentially make Jinbei stronger on land. But moving from Jinbei, let's talk about Nami. You see, Nami at this point is very interesting because she's getting very close to the ceiling that she's already shown us. Now that she has Zeus in her climb attack, her possibilities are endless. And throughout the series, but mainly in Whole Cake Island, we drew a lot of similarities to Nami and Big Mom, the motherly figure. Big Mom is food, Nami is money. Her connection to the homies and even Lola, having the control over a weapon with the soul in it. Even got to the point where people were speculating that Nami was going to get Big Mom's Devil Fruit if she were to pass. But now with Nami headed to Elbaf, and we already saw what happened to her during the time skip when she went to Weatheria, I think she may learn a lot from the Giants. This would begin Nami's acclimation with Haki, also her being able to use Zeus to the next level. This was Nami's original design, with her with a mechanical arm and a giant axe. But now with Zeus being able to turn into anything that she wants, it's very possible that Nami may use something very similar to that, almost her mimicking the giant she's going to see on Elbaf. But now let's talk about Brooke. You see, the thing with Brooke and his power-up is that we're all talking about his awakening. And even though that would be interesting, awakening a dead Devil Fruit kind of contradicts itself. What I see happening to Brooke is a better understanding of his Devil Fruit, which is essentially still an awakening. So Brooke's fight on Elbaf gave us more insight to his actual Devil Fruit power. He said, I died once and my soul should have traveled to the land of the dead, but in order to remain in the world of the living, my soul must expand an enormous amount of energy, almost that of a living body. By playing music, I can rock the souls of others, drawing them into my world and even showing them illusions. Once removed from my body, I found my soul was visible to others. I truly do exist in the world of the living. The power that keeps me alive in this world is not my organs or my flesh or blood, it's my soul. His power is literally soul power. And his sword Solid, is actually able to bring the chill of the underworld, which makes him have freezing energy. Same thing that we saw with Venus Juro. And caveat, I do think Brooke should get a Black Blade as well as Zoro. But to our knowledge right now, making a Black Blade comes from having Haki, and we haven't seen Brooke really use any Haki feats. But what we have saw from Brooke from the first time we saw him was the power of the soul. So I think his power will be being able to manipulate different soul energies from the underworld, besides just the freezing energy. We already saw him being able to interact with the homie souls on Whole Cake Island. So him being able to utilize other people's soul energy, as well as manipulate other people's soul energy, would be his next step. And he won't even need Haki because he can interact with the soul directly. And last but not least, we have our girl, Nik Robin. See, one of the best things about Nik Robin is that we can also just say, oh yeah, just give her Haki and that's her power. Because at this point, she's already doing everything with her Devil Fruit. She can sprout from anywhere, create forms, and essentially interact with the environment around her. And for the other Straw Hats, I talked about them gaining other techniques, but Nik Robin already has Fisherman Karate. What could possibly happen that her interacting with Jinbei, she can learn a little bit more about Fisherman Karate. And because she can sprout her limbs from anywhere, she can utilize bodies of water in her fighting style. And her character arc on Elbaf will be huge, not even because of Jaguar D Sol, but because of everything we're going to learn on Elbaf. But yes, I would like her to learn Haki, but I think one of her power-ups will also be being able to interact physically with the environment around her. Instead of sprouting her limbs from everywhere around her, just how most Paramecian awakenings can alter the environment around them, the environment around Robin will become her limbs. Like if she's in a forest, she can manipulate the trees. If she's in a canyon, she can manipulate the rocks. And it can even get to a point where she can manipulate the whole island. Kind of like Alvaro Pizarro. The Straw Hats can be so busted, it's not even crazy. But for more One Piece content, y'all know what to do. Hit that follow button.